That was fun. I tell you what, I talked about our guys, our strength in numbers, and today was a great opportunity for us to be able to showcase that. 6 guys in double figures, a lot of guys playing extended minutes. But I thought we really, combined things that were good in our first 2 games against those opponents, and got better with things that we didn't do such a good job with against our first 2 opponents in this game here today. Obviously, it starts defensively. That's the most important piece for me. But we held these guys to 38% from the 3. That was terrific. Forced 18 turnovers for a team that doesn't press was really good. We're flying around blocking some shots, and that allowed us to get out and play in transition, which, as you can see today, we're pretty good when we do that. But just the balance, the scoring, the sharing the ball, 21 assists on 27, made field goals, taking care of the ball. We had 12 turnovers, but 4 of those came late. I wouldn't trade those turnovers for the experience that we were able to get some guys in the minutes we were able to get them, because that's going to pay dividends for us down the road.
You talked about the defense, and I think Cliff was in here. He said there was that stretch. I think they didn't have a field goal for about 9 minutes in the first half. Cliff said I think it was maybe like 3 kills in a row, which I know you had to really appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, just were you seeing a lot more energy defensively maybe than, I can't really speak for that, I wasn't there, but at least earlier this week?
Yeah, and I'm going to even do it in my Cliff Davis voice. We had 3 kills in that segment. That was big time. Coach was probably really pleased with that. So that's my guy, Cliff, man. Sounds like a WWE guy. But he was right. We did have a segment there. We held him to 20 points for it seemed like an eternity, and then end of the half, let go of the rope a little bit, and they slapped one in, which was good defense, to put them to 28. But significantly, improved from Wednesday night against Washington Lee. We just didn't have the intensity, the fire, the energy that was necessary, right? It felt like we kind of defended at the bare minimum. We did a lot of things schematically well in that game, but we just didn't do them with enough juice, enough fire. Coach Burke always says we got to have an edge, and we got our edge back a little bit more today, and that was probably what I was most pleased with.
And Christian Brown, I think by the end of the day, he's probably still going to be leading country in block shots. Obviously he's very explosive jumper, but was there a point where you kind of realized he was going to be able to do that at this level? I mean, it's different than blocking shots in high school against kids.
Very first practice. The moment we started going live, he went chest to chest with guys, and he said, "I'm just going to contest everything." There's certain skills are. There's a ceiling as to how much you can teach, you can drill certain skills, right? Shot blocking is one of those, right? We got a couple drills we do, and we can get guys a little bit better with blocking shots and build up some habits. But there's a ceiling on that, and when you have great instincts like Christian has, it's exceptional, right? And so there's just a ceiling as to how much we can get you better as a shot blocker, and we'll do our job. But if you've got that it factor like he does, to be able to track the ball, to know when a drive is occurring, when it needs your help, how a guy's going to time up, what kind of finish they're going to go, and to go meet you at the apex, it's pretty special when you can do that. And we knew first moment that he walked in, and our whole team knew there's not going to be a lot of easy baskets in the paint when you're going against him in practice every day.
You talked about on Wednesday maybe not having that intensity out the gate. How important was it for you guys to be able to respond that way? And this Saturday or Wednesday kind of looked as more of a wake up call for moving forward?
Without question, we came in. We were off. It's today Sunday. We were off on Thursday, right? Because you have to have these off days. So we came in on Friday and we watched film, and it was. Obviously there was a few good things on there, but it was a lot of defense, right? And I was very stingy in showing the guys because, again, we would show them a lot of clips of us just really poor effort and positioning. Guys poor off-ball stances, and the team we played missed a layup, or they missed an open 3, right? Well, they've got to learn from that, because that doesn't mean it's good defense, right? And sometimes you'll play great defense and a guy makes a shot. And so playing to our standard was really important, that they got that message. And so every game has a lesson. Every lesson has an incredible value, even when you don't play exactly as you feel like you should. That's a part of the process of the season. It's a part of the process of having 13 new guys, and they've got to understand, hey, it says above our above our practice facility. The standard is the standard, and that's real, right? It doesn't matter who you're playing. So we made great strides in the right direction with that this week.
On the offensive side of the ball, we could talk about the three-point shooting, but I felt like the ball movement was kind of the bigger headline, with the ball just kind of flinging around. The camera was tough trying to follow it. At this early point of the year, you got 13 new players. How big is it to be able to see you guys continue maybe playing all together at this point and kind of having that type of success?
Well, it's really important because it's a difficult thing to do, and we knew when we got this group together that passing was going to have to be a huge emphasis and a focus for us. And so Coach Bake, he literally coaches passing for both teams on the offensive side of the ball all day, every day. And so if you make a bad pass, you throw a guy out of his shot, or you don't deliver it on time, on target, you're going to hear about it, right? And we're going to coach it every single day, because if we're going to have premier big guys, if we're going to have elite shooters like we do, it's going to be predicated on how well we deliver the ball to one another and we share it. And today was a great example of that. Because this wasn't changing defenses, right? There was some man, there was some zone. Obviously, they pressed us almost every single time that they could, and so it's hard to draw it in the basket, and so it becomes a player's game, and you can't rely on plays. And I thought we made a great effort in doing that and just being connected offensively.
I asked Eddie a return from last year. Early in the year, we were always talking about trying to get that gel going with one another, both Eddie and Chris, and how well together they are already. For you as a coach, how big is that at this early juncture of the year? That's maybe something that isn't at the top of your worry list, trying to get these guys on the same page.
Well, it is, and we really invest a lot in that, throughout the summer, throughout the season. Our character coach, Rich Duffield, does a tremendous job and, facilitating discussions that bring us together as a team, allow us to learn and gain, tremendous respect for each other. But I think it's really important, as you recruit through the portal, everybody's got a different set of experiences, right? And sometimes you've got really talented players who have experience in playing and they got numbers, but they just haven't won. And so that's why they come here. They want to be a part of a championship program, but you have to show them, right? You can't hope they become great teammates. You have to intentionally show them and teach them and instill that in them, what being together really looks like. And this group's really bought into it. It's funny when they start using my own stuff against me, I got them, right? So when they're saying to each other things that I would normally say to them, okay, sometimes they think it's funny and I'm flattered, but that means we got them. So we're in a good spot.
Seems like for a lot of your players, you can look at them and say, Cliff, this primary role, a shooter. Justin McBride, it seems like he can do anything on the floor. 11, 4, and 4 today. What have you seen from him, and specifically today? How have you seen him as a guy maybe that's a unicorn on the basketball court to find his role in this team?
Yeah. So I had told Shane in the summer, he did a great write up about our team. Justin kind of changed the complexion of this group because of all those things that you said, right? He can score inside. He can drive the ball like a point guard. He can obviously shoot the ball really well. He's an elite rebounder. So, when you get a guy like that, it kind of changes your whole team, because it gives you kind of that Swiss Army knife defensively that you can attack and use him in different ways. He was facilitating today, right? He's like a big point forward out there. But then it kind of changes what you do defensively too, right? And that's where, we got to make sure that we're doing the right things to keep those guys out there. But for Justin, it's saying, hey, he's played 2 years of college basketball. He's not experienced winning like he quite wants to, and he's not had the role that we would like for him to have here. So it takes a little time to say, hey, that's a great shot right there. And let's be honest, maybe that's not a great shot for everybody else, but it also, the responsibility that comes with that, we need you to go get that rebound. All right, we need you to go get the stop. We need you to do those things. So he's learning how to, really take on a primary role on a good team. And so that's a process, but I'm super proud of him because he's out there just having fun. And when he's doing that, man, I tell you what, our guys love him. He's an unbelievable teammate. He's got a heart that is huge, and he's a lot of fun to coach.
I know you haven't actually scouted Longwood, but I don't know if we'll see Ronnie Thomas very well. Like, he's kind of in a similar situation you were in. There's a young head coach taking over, and he played down the road here at Bridgewater. So I was curious if you're familiar with him.
Not a ton. We see each other on the road, recruiting and speak to each other and things. I got to know Coach Griff, the former head coach there, a good bit. Tons of respect for him and for Ronnie as well. But I don't know a lot about their team. Obviously, he must be a terrific young coach in order to get the job, right? Because these things are hard to get. There's only 350 of them, and I think he's doing a great job from everything I can see, and put a really nice roster together. I think their talent's really good. As a team, I don't know much about them. That'll be Coach Bake. He'll get me ready for that. I'm pretty sure the scout's on my desk right now, and I'll read that as I watch this film and try to find some efficient ways to learn from this game and bridge the gap to the next one.